Ed, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome into our little dark room here in Amsterdam, actually on the red light district.
Yeah.
It's a warm welcome.
Yeah. I didn't even know we were in the red light district.
We are. We're so glad to have you on Slam. This is your first time on Slam, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, how are you? How are things?
I'm really well. I'm really good. Yeah, I'm really excited to be back in. I mean, the Netherlands is some. I was saying to you off camera, but I had so many friends move here from. We had come from a very, very small hometown, so it's quite abnormal for lots of friends to congregate in one place. Usually they would be all over the world, but I had so many friends live in the Netherlands, from Eindhoven to Rotterdam to Amsterdam. One of my best mates still lives here, so I saw him yesterday. But I've just spent so much of my 20s here. It's lovely.
And what is your best memory from the Netherlands, or from Amsterdam, maybe?
I got my first #1 here. I remember when I went #1 in the UK, I was playing... I think Pukkelpop or no, what's the fucking...
I believe Pinkpop.
So it's Pinkpop or Lowlands, and I was in the car with my best mate who was at Eindhoven University, and I found out that I went #1, and then I went to the gig and I had all my mates come there. So that was like a great memory.
How's your daddy life going?
Yeah, dad life is great.
Yeah,
dad life is great. Yeah, I had breakfast with her virtually this morning, so I was on FaceTime and she was eating porridge, I was eating porridge. It's fun.
Oh, that's great. Honestly, I couldn't think of a better moment for us to meet, because we love to play dance music at Slam. And yeah, you just released your first real dance record, Bad Habits, which we love to play. I also really like the video.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, when did you decided that you wanted to be a flying vampire? Because it's really Twilight on steroids.
Yeah, it's Twilight on steroids. It was basically, the song is called Bad Habits, and the first lyric is every time you come around I can't say no, every time the sun goes down I lose control. And in my head I was like, well, the sun goes down, vampires come out, and they have bad habits. And I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love, like, Twilight's good, but Buffy's like the original. Yeah, so I wanted to sort of hint at that in a video. It's good. I must say, man, like, I love dance music, and I've never really made solo dance music, but I love the feeling of having a dance set, because it goes with, like, Thinking Out Loud and Perfect. Like, people love those songs, but it's not like you can be in a club and put them on, or be like... They're not really songs you dance to. So having a song that makes people move like that is pretty fun.
So you didn't get the idea for the clip out of South Park, because I found this episode. I was watching South Park earlier, and I can show you. Cartman is saying this.
These people are called daywalkers. Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Yeah. He combines the two.
You know, this having red hair in England was always like a thing that people took the piss out of you for.
Yeah.
But it was never something in America. People never knew what a ginger was in America. That episode of South Park fucking ruined my life.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Because I was going to America and everyone was like, I love your hair, dude. And I'd be like, oh my God, people like my hair? And then I remember that episode coming out, and then that was just it, worldwide for the rest of my life.
I believe you're more of a Simpson guy, anyways.
No, I love South Park, and I hope if I'm ever on South Park, them taking the piss, I hope I'm allowed to voice my character, even if it's like very offensive. I would love to voice my character. In
your music, you covered quite some music genres now with Bad Habits. It's your first real dance record. You went the full hip hop on Eraser and on You Need Me, I Don't Need You, which has the line that I love, they say I'm up and coming like I'm...
Fucking in an elevator.
Fucking in an elevator, yeah, man.
So the original of that was, I wrote that when I was like 16, and I was like really into battle rap and metaphors. So originally it was, they say I'm up and coming like I'm fucking in an elevator, and I spit fast, call me a premature ejaculator.
Ooh.
So that was originally the line, and then I was like, second one doesn't need to be there. That's a bit fucking weird.
You even covered folk music on Galway Girl. What is another genre I was wondering you would love to try out in your music?
Well, genres are a tricky thing nowadays, because you can't just jump into a genre, because people will call you a culture vulture. So anything that I could do respectfully, I think. Anything that I could do respectfully. I did... I went to Ghana and made some music with a guy called Fuse ODG, and I made it in Accra with him and his producer Kill Beats, and then we visited a school. I donated the school, I built some more of the school, and I felt like when people came at me after that being like, culture vulture, I'd be like, no, actually, I went to the culture, I lived in the culture, I created with people from the culture, I gave back to the culture, I still give back to the culture. So I think for me, any genre I would do, but I would have to do it like that. You'd have to do it the correct.
My favorite song of yours you made in like a machine room of a cruise ship. It looked like a machine room.
It was the machine room of a cruise ship.
Do you know which song
Happier?
Happier, yeah. It's on this new record, Equals. What is the most unusual place you came up with a song or you wrote a song?
I'd say the weirdest way I've made this album is I rented old country houses, like huge cavernous mansions without central heating that have no lights. You have to light candles and stuff like that, because there's so many of them about. No one was using them because it was the pandemic. You could basically house a team there because there would be so many rooms, so I'd house all the people making the record, from the engineers to the producers to people I wrote songs with, and we would just live in this place for like 2 weeks and make a few songs. It's where Bad Habits was made, in a place called Glenham Hall in Suffolk, and it's the sort of place they would use the inside of it to film episodes of Bridgerton and
really?
Stuff like that. Yeah. Oh. So I made the record in like cavernous country houses, rented farms, did it in barns of farms, and.
Did you sample some animals maybe on the farm or noises of the farm?
My security guard Kevin, who I wouldn't say he has no musical ability, but he's not a musician. But I sampled him on one song going, "Hey!" And he's the beginning of a song called Collide. There's a sample that just goes, "Hey!" But it's tuned and put in.
That's exciting.
But that's Kevin.
We're listening.
He's really excited about that.
What is for you a great place for inspiration? Where did you?
Sometimes I'll get a new guitar and a song will just come out like that. I find instruments have songs in them, and I do think buildings have songs in them. I think this is why I find it so difficult to write in studios, because so many songs have been created in studios. The energy's kind of been sucked out of them, because I think songs come from the air. Like I wrote Perfect in like 30 minutes. All of those lyrics in like 30 minutes. I wrote Icy Fire in about 45 minutes, and those are songs with like lots of lyrics and lots of meanings, and they just fell out. And I feel like the song was here and it just went here and it came out. And I think with Houses, whenever I feel that stopping, we pack up and move somewhere else, and then it starts again.
Are there more songs to dance to? We have Shivers, we have Bad Habits.
No. The record isn't a dance record. There's a couple of records that will make you move a little bit, but it's more of like an emotive. It's probably closer to Multiply than it is to Divide. I think, as an album. But me and Fred made a tune for. Do you know he is half of Rain Radio as well?
We talk about it a lot.
So we made a tune for Rain Radio.
Cool.
Because Rain Radio is what inspired Bad Habits. He played me Talk About, and I was like, man, this would be fun to do a song like this. So we essentially tried to make Talk About again, but made Bad Habits.
I'm so curious about your experience with now hearing your music in like a cab or at a bar.
So it's different. If I hear it on the radio, I will keep the radio on, because sometimes it's the first time I've heard that song on the radio. I heard Shivers for the first time on the radio the other day, and it never gets old hearing a song on the radio. It's like, oh my God, people still care. But when it's at a bar, like I remember I went to a bar. Man, I don't know why I'm saying this story, but I went to a bar in 2015. I'd gone on holiday with 6 or 7 friends, and my first girlfriend is in our friendship group, and I hadn't seen her since we'd broken up, and this was like probably like five years. She's who the first album is about, and who the EPs before that were about, and I'm sure she found it difficult to never escape a song being on a radio. Anyway, we're on holiday, haven't seen her in a while. We were very kind of like having a catch up, and all of my friends go out to a bar, and I just say, hey, we should just clear the air, have a long catch up. I want to know what you've been up to, you can know what I've been up to. So we walk into this bar, and the guy behind the bar was like, Ed Sheeran, and I was like, hey, and he was like, wait there. And then he put on this playlist, which was all the songs that I'd written about her. And I was like, can you? And he was like, see? And he didn't really speak that good English. He was like, yes! Thinking that I guess he thought I wanted to like impress a girl and be like, I'll have the music on. But I was just kind of sat in this bar being, just kind of having this conversation, but with all these songs playing. And we eventually just got up and left and went to another bar. But there's times like that where you want it. That's probably the most extreme situation. But in clubs, like, I don't really go to clubs, but when I would go to clubs, I think the club promoter often goes to the DJ and goes, "Oh, you should play one of their songs," and then they bring out the bottles and stuff. But I find that the most awkward. I'll usually tell people to change the song if that happens. I find that super awkward. But some people love that. Some people love that.
What is your opinion on changing music when it's out already? Like Kanye is doing with his latest album, he just keeps tweaking songs.
I think whatever works for anyone. It probably makes Kanye happy, and it probably like I think Drake did it with Certified Lover Boy. He changed. I think like whatever makes you happy. I find that the reason I don't listen to my songs when they come out, that's why when they come on radio, I'm like, oh. But I would never listen to an album in full once it's come out because of that. Because you then go, oh, I should. I have it with song choices. I have it with like, oh, I shouldn't have put that song on. I just love a perfect album like that. And this is why I think vinyl's important. You can't shuffle vinyl, and you can't have
no skips.
And you might like this artist too. It's just I love this album. And people have been saying the album format is dead since my debut album came out, because it was iTunes then and people would pick off individual tracks, but every single album I bring out, people consume it as an album, and people will listen to Shape of You and that will be on their playlist, but most of my fans listen to the album. I think it's still alive.
And your fans are super excited about the new record. We are as well, and I have to say, you always seem so relaxed when all the attention is going on you. Are you this relaxed, or is it?
Yeah, I get stressed when things kind of creep up on me, like tour is just going to creep up on me, and then suddenly I'm going to be on stage in front of 80,000 people with a guitar, and I'll get stressed before then. But when I'm on stage, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember how to do this. I remember this. It's the same with making Equals. I was stressed putting that album together. It's the most stressed I've ever been is picking those songs, because it's so permanent and making sure the production's all right and making sure the first single choice is all right. But now it's kind of off to the races and it's rolling, and Bad Habits is doing what it's doing and Shivers is doing what it's doing. I can't do anything. Like all I can do is sit and talk to you about it and promote it. I can't go back and change it. It's printed on vinyl now. We've printed fucking 250,000 vinyls.
You can't go back.
Can't go back. Yeah.
So with Equals, you are almost finishing your 5-album plan. Yeah. Right? Can you tell us a little more about that?
Do you know, when I went over to America to sign my record deal there, I told the head of the company this, and he said like 10 years ago I would have called you insane for like thinking this far ahead. But he said he had someone sit in his office 10 years before that and explain that his first album would be College Dropout, his next album would be Late Registration, his next album would be Graduation, and the next album would be Good Ass Job, which I don't think he's done. But anyway, Kanye has definitely planned out. Some people don't do that in music, but it works for me.
What are you going to drop after the Mathematics albums? Have you thought of that?
Yeah, I have. What's mad is I've talked about it for years and years, and I keep saying all of them are tattooed on my body. Like all of them have been tattooed on my body since like 2011, and no one's guessed. But they're all there. They're all there. So yeah, I've got 5 more after that. But I want to kind of intersperse them with things. I want to do. My manager hates me for saying this, but I grew up on traditional folk music. I want to do a traditional folk album. Obviously, another collaborations record. Me and Fred are talking about doing something together as just Fred again and me. So like there's plans, but they're not. Nothing's together.
You're not going for the emojis, maybe.
No,
that's a lot of choice.
Although my opinion on emojis are, they are. I think in like 10,000 years, people will see them as hieroglyphics. I think people will probably just talk in emojis.
They're talking emojis.
Yeah, well, I mean, people have emojis now that are of their face and stuff like that. But I think like people in 10,000 years will look back and it will be like hieroglyphics. Yeah. You know. But.
Final question. Yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning, we love to play dance music at Slam, and this October we will have the Slam Dance 1000, the 1000 best dance tracks of all time. And I'm so curious, what would you name as the best dance track of all time?
I think of modern times, I think Swedish House Mafia and Avicii both have made absolute fucking classic dance songs. But the song that if I'm going to put it as the song that I wish I'd written, was We Found Love. Which is, I mean, I hinted it on 2 songs on They Go Until the Roads Are Changed, singing We Found Love in a Local Rave. Yeah, in Sing. I'm hinting at it in Sing.
Oh my God, that's true.
I'm basically saying like, because we found love in a hopeless place, I say we found love in a local rave. That was my like tip of the hat to that. I just think it's the perfect dance song. I think Calvin Harris is such a super talented producer. Like, because I wouldn't class him as a dance DJ. I know he is a dance DJ, but I think he's an incredible songwriter and producer. I think all the best dance music is like 4 elements. You have the bass is spot on, the kick drum is spot on, the top line of whatever it is spot on, and the melody of like the riff is spot on. But there's just 4 things that work like really, really well together. You listen to We Found Love, Calvin Harris and Rihanna, which I think is the perfect dance song. I don't think you can do a better dance song than that. But it's literally just that, and then the bass going, dum, 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 and then the kick, and then Rihanna singing, and it's just those four elements, and it's spot on. It's not overcomplicated.
Ed, thank you so much. We're super excited for the record. Equals. It's out October 29th. I heard some snippets here and there. It sounds beautiful.
Thank you.
I hope Overpass Gravity is the next single.
It is the next single. That's
single, great. Yeah, we'll be listening and streaming.
That's actually dancey on the album. That's quite dancey. It's not so much fall to the floor EDM dance, but it's dancing.
Thank you so much.